Thank you so much for joining us for the Conversations for Change, hosted by Genesis Griffin and featuring two amazing seniors, Nevaeh and Naisha. And we're going to be continuing these bi-monthly. We'll be doing them. May 20th will be the next one. Exact time will be determined. And hopefully in that one, we can not just have a pre-recording and it will be live. We are working on figuring out those technical kinks. So we appreciate your patience in doing that. So my name is Lilly Mazzone. I am the advisor for the Kalamazoo County Youth Cabinet. I am just here to really provide some support after this, because a lot of the things that were talked about and discussed, they're kind of heavy, and it's especially in these times. You're going to feel much like Genesis said, like a lot of the bad outweighs the good. And that's okay to feel overwhelmed by the negativity and things. It happens. You're a human being, and, you just have to find what works for you to support you through that. So I'm going to give you some quick little things that you can do. Just one thing I suggested to all of the panelists was to even take 10 minutes of each day and just take some of that time to breathe, like actual full belly breaths, starting from way down low past your diaphragm, breathing in and just allowing yourself the time and space to actually feel your lungs expanding and contracting. And as you do that, do some positive resourcing around you if you can. If you're in an environment that you like, look around and see, a piece of art that you got, a picture of a family member, what it looks like outside when you look outside your window. If you have a pet near you or something, just really look at the positive things around you. And that's part of practicing some gratitude to kind of bring your mindset more to the present. And practicing more presence and awareness during these times can really help us to be a positive coping mechanism, because, it's very easy to want to just ignore everything and kind of escape, whether it be through TV or games or anything like that. And yes, escape can be good, but you got to balance it with some other techniques and other mechanisms and strategies. So with that positive resource, and going back to that, say you're not in an environment where it is a positive environment, you can start positive resourcing in your mind. Something that I have used myself a lot is visualizing a big circle that I'm in the middle of, where I can see my granny, my mom, my best friends, some of my cousins, my partner, and having all of them in my head standing around me, sending me love and energy and light, and telling me, how much they love me and, what all of my strengths and things are. So even just imagining that, and the warmth of their love and their appreciation around you, imagining something like that. Or even as you're breathing, you can kind of imagine a cloud. I imagine like a rose gold glittery cloud, because I kind of like that color and stuff. So you imagine that cloud, and as you're breathing in, it's like that cloud is coming in and it's filling your entire lungs. So I just imagine my lungs are aglow and sparkly with some rose goldy glittery stuff in my lungs. Not the corona, but rose gold glittery. So just imagining something like that. And then as you're breathing out, all the negativity, all the black or gray charcoal cloud of all of that negative energy, and anything that you're trying to releasing pain, releasing confusion, releasing frustration, releasing anger, thinking of that, focusing on what you're releasing and focusing on what you're bringing in, and that what you bring in is positive. Release anything that does not serve you. Make that your motto as you're going through that process, right? And, sometimes that can help you with some of the motivation that is lost during times of trauma that we're experiencing like right now. So if you take that time and really allow whatever thoughts come to your mind, if you do have a negative thought during that time, it's okay. Just allow it to pass and go on. You are not your thoughts. And sometimes we feel that way. We feel that when we say certain things in our head over and over again, but we become those things, that we are always negative. But that's not the case. You have the opportunities and the ability to really rewrite some of those narratives in your brain about how you think every day and how you're perceiving a situation, right? Genesis was doing a great job of reorienting us back to, this is a hard experience, but it's building a lot of resilience, a lot of, she was positively resourcing some of the skills that she's developing right now. For example, doing her own hair. Yes, she wants to go to the shop. I need to go shop too. It's kind of great. But, we're learning how to take care of our own hair. She said she learned some things about hair care that she didn't know before. And she wouldn't have learned that if she didn't have to go through this experience, right? And thinking about things like that, if you have a loved one at home who usually works a lot, and because of this crisis, they've had to be home more, or are not working at all, just taking that positivity of, I get to see them more. I get to be with them more and share space with them and share, a meal. So I think kind of orienting to that can really help you in terms of, once again, like I said, keeping present and keeping positive in light of everything that's going on. So, especially as you're processing feelings around experiences being stolen from you through this crisis, it's important to allow yourself the space to sit with that, sit with the pain and the loss and the grief, and allow it to happen as you try to reorient yourself positively. There's going to be days where it's difficult to do, and that's okay. Something that I recommend is, depending on what type of social media you like to use best, change up your timeline. If there's a lot of negativity on your timeline, on your feed, whatever it be, change it up. On Instagram, go ahead and follow, holistic psychologists and, memes about anxiety, calming and things like that, of taking a moment and noticing 3 things around you with your eyes, smelling what's around you, listening carefully, looking for feeds that have positive and constructive things for you. And even making a folder, whether it on Instagram or Facebook, that has specifically things that you can look at and it'll make you happy. If it's just a laughing baby or something, that's fine. But just making sure, be considerate of what you are bringing into your headspace, especially now that you can't bring people into your physical space. And connecting with friends. Talking about that headspace and that physical space, making sure that you are still in touch with friends, and, scheduling a little Zoom call, even if it's a phone call, a little thing on Snap, making sure you're, texting back and forth like once a day. What's one positive thing that happened to you today? What was something over the weekend that you were excited about? Or what was something over the weekend that you convinced yourself to do or something like that, right? I think those are all really essential in, maintaining community, because just because we are not able to see each other physically doesn't mean that we can't still maintain community. And definitely make sure that even if you are using the screen a lot for your connection, for your coping strategies and things of that nature, that you balance it. It's all about balance and making sure that, on these days where we do have some sunshine and it's over 60 degrees, even if you take a walk for 2-3 minutes, if it's just literally right down the road, right back, something to get your body moving and to get some sunlight and kind of be able to breathe in fresh air, if nothing else. We're around people more. We're around some people in our family more than we're used to or necessarily would like to. So I think that's really important to consider some time away from each other. I make sure I take a walk at least once a day so that I can be alone for just a little bit. Just a little bit. I just need a little bit of time. So, and then, it's okay to allow yourself in those moments. If you feel like crying, if you feel like being angry, as long as you are not hurting yourself or others, that's okay. Like allow that out. If you don't allow it to come out, then it's just gonna stay sitting right here. It's going to stay sitting right here and it's going to weigh on you over time. So I think it's important for you to just allow yourself to feel and really learn to flex that skill of vulnerability. The biggest accomplishment is that you're going to get through this. Genesis said that in the talk, and it really hit me and resonated with, because that is the biggest accomplishment. You are going to get through this. You are waking up every day. You're putting one foot in front of the other, and you're going to get through this. If you're listening to this right now, that means that you're already taking steps. You're finding community. You're looking for spaces to share your voice and get support. And speaking of that support, tomorrow at 1:00, we'll be having, I'll actually be leading a peer coaching session through the Kalamazoo Youth Development Network. They have a virtual learning hub that we'll be doing it on. It's on Zoom. You can register. I'll put a link in the post in the comments below. And in that, I will really just be talking about 3 main questions. What do you want? How do you want it? And how do you get it? Nope, that wasn't. What do you want? Why do you want it? And how do you get it? So we're going to talk about those 3 questions and really delve into, what do you need right now? What supports do you need? So, for example, Nija had all 3, Nija, Nevaeh, and Genesis had all talked about, certain things for submitting documents and applying for scholarships and applying for schools and things like that, needing support for that. So in this session, you'll be able to get a link to sign up for one-on-one sessions where I can support you in things like that. I can support you in, okay, I have to do FAFSA. How do I do FAFSA? What do I need? Like, what does this mean? Am I an independent? Questions like that. You can always use that Google form, which I will actually I'll just put it in the comments below. You could just sign up there. That's cool. And that'll be for 14 to 21 year olds. And really just talking about, like, if you're wondering, should I go just take some community college classes or should I be going to my 4-year school? I don't know how to decide. I can support you in deciding that. And if you have any other things that you need that haven't been addressed either in this talk here or will not be addressed tomorrow or going forward, you could always email me, Lilly, Lilly, wait, Lilly. I'm tired. Lilly, Lilly, at kidnet.org. That is Lilly, Lilly, at kidnet.org. Kidnet.org. You can go ahead and email me. I'll admit I only check Monday through Friday. So if you email me on the weekends, I'm trying to keep healthy boundaries around work-life balance, which is what we, should always be trying to do. And I will get back to you about that. Whatever you need, just let me know. If you're just like, hey, I need to find an apartment. I don't know how to do that in this time. Let's figure it out together. I got you. I'll support you. And that's what we're here for, right? So just keep all of these things in mind of, reorienting yourself to the positive, allowing yourself to feel those emotions, and seeking out some community and support. If you follow those three things, then you can be more secure in having a full cup that you can then support others through. Because far too often, sometimes we stretch ourselves a little bit thin in order to support somebody else. Like, I'm not really in a good headspace, but you know what? I'm just going to do this call and I'm going to help this person out. I'm not really in a good spot right now, but I'm going to still, maybe give a little bit of this money that I have and things like that. So just keep in mind that if you need support yourself, then you should get it. And supporting yourself is a way to support community. If you do not support yourself, you can't give anything to anybody else. And if you're in need of an emotional support or listening ear, the number you can call is 269-381-4357. That's 269-381-4357. And that crisis line is for you to just vent to if you need to, just to talk. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK That's 1-800-273-TALK. And if you're not sure about that and you're looking for some other resources, maybe you need help for housing and utility stuff. You need to figure out where the nearest food pantry is that you can get food from, or you're looking for eviction diversion, things of that nature. You can call 211 and a representative from Griffin Place will be able to assist you in connecting you to those resources and support. You can also chat online from 4 to 10 p.m. on griffin.org. And they even got a text service now. So if you don't want to talk physically to anybody, that's too much, that's overwhelming, that's fine. Go ahead and text 898-211. That's 898-211. Text your zip code, and they'll be able to provide you with services 24/7. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to this. We'll have these little debrief sessions directly following the conversations each time. Next time, it'll be a peer support specialist from Ask Family and Children's Services. They were a really, really great organization who will be supporting us and our youth in providing resources and providing different strategies, a lot like what I've talked about here. So thank you again. I know I look at the screen weird like an auntie. I know I'm supposed to look at the actual camera, but I get confused. I'll be honest. So thanks for bearing with me. Appreciate it. Have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.